This is the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra.
It's nothing left with you. The feeling's going through. It's always you. It's always you. It's always you.
So, from this pre-order from Samsung, we got the Galaxy Buds Pro along with the S21 Ultra. So I thought, why not open this up real quick, show you what's going on. And what was a real nice thing, because I didn't actually know much about them before seeing them, is they're also matte black. And they look pretty nice. But real quick thing about them, the hinge felt super cheap. The actual build quality was alright until I opened it up. The hinge felt like it was a toy, and that was kind of disappointing. But you know, the things themselves, they're not bad, they're pretty good. But anyway, let's have a look at the S21 Ultra. So you may or may not know that Samsung followed in Apple's footsteps of removing the power brick from the box. So it's a thinner box, but right off the top, at the top of the box, you got the phone, and then you got the cables and the paperwork, and that is literally it. It's a USB-C to USB-C cable. I'm not happy about this. I don't like that companies are doing this, but we can expect this year. But for the phone itself, something that I've been asking for years from every phone company is a matte black phone. And this has finally happened, and I love it. I'm really happy. Just look at it. Come on, I mean, it looks great. But the rest of the design, however, I'll talk about that. So it's a pretty big phone at 6.8 inches, and then at the top here you have your mic, nothing really going on there. And then if you turn the phone around, on this side of the phone you got absolutely nothing. In the bottom you got a speaker, USB-C, and your SIM card. And in here is both the power and the volume, which I don't like because taking screenshots will be a pain in the ass. But then on the back, beautiful design, beautiful matte black color. I'm not too sure about this camera bump look. I'm not a big fan of it. I don't like the way it goes into the frame. I prefer the Note look, but it's not too bad. But the thing that does work for me is the matte black, and I kind of forgive them for choosing this design. But anyway, powering it on. It's the usual Samsung setup, but something to note is it comes with OneUI 3.0, aka Android 11, pre-installed in the phone, and I was very happy about this. This is something to look forward to, and I'm going to talk about it later because it's very nice. But first thing I noticed was, of course, the 120Hz silky smooth. Fun fact, now 1440p and 120Hz work at the same time on this phone. It was about time. So, first impressions, let's go. Now, I already told you my opinions here about the design and how I don't like the camera bump going into the frame, but it's not bad, and I absolutely adore the matte black finish. So, putting that all aside, now when you're talking about the build, obviously build quality is on point. It feels very sleek in your hand, especially when you come from a boxy phone like the iPhone 12 Pro. It feels sleek in terms of it's very smooth and it's high quality. It's a very nice phone to hold. There is also a little bit of weight to it, but I personally like that in the phone. I loved it in the 12 Pro because it makes it feel premium. But also, on top of all of this, I've never really got it when people said a phone was slippery. This is the slippiest phone I've ever held. Now, of course, I gotta give extra points to the display. It looks amazing, but that's no surprise with any Samsung phone. But it looks and it feels, and it's an amazing display. Number one I've ever seen. But what's interesting about the 120Hz is it's under a mode called adaptive mode, and basically adaptive mode is when the phone is automatically changing from about 10 Hz to 120 Hz. So if you're staying still, it swaps down to like 10 Hz, so it can save battery. But then when you're scrolling and you're doing all that, it turns up to 120 Hz, so you can really enjoy the experience. So it's nice to see Samsung are trying to preserve battery here while giving you this really nice experience. Now, of course, there's an edge display here. The screen is curved. I personally love this. I know a lot of people don't. I think it's about 50-50, but I think this is a very good in between because it's not curved to the point where it's annoying to those who didn't like it when you're typing and all of that. It's not an issue whatsoever. I mean, it's never really an issue, but here it's definitely not an issue. But the curve is still there, so you get, the pros of the aesthetics and you don't get the cons of the functional side of it and how it could possibly be annoying. Now, in the past, what's been known for Samsung phones is that the Exynos versions of their phones, which is the processor you would get if you're not in the US, they usually were worse, especially when it came to battery life. And this year I've got the Exynos version as per usual, but I don't know yet, but everyone is saying that battery life has kind of been fixed here. It's a non-issue here, and I'm really excited to see that. So that's just something I thought I should let you know. But the alternative, of course, is the Snapdragon 888. But anyway, this is a powerful phone. Now, something that I thought was a little bit weird is this guy has S Pen support. It doesn't have an S Pen inside. You can get a case that holds the S Pen, so take that for what you will. And then what's pretty nice is you're getting a 5,000 mAh battery here. Samsung, they use their Ultra lineup to kind of take absolutely no compromises, and I'm all for that. And that's why the prices are usually high, but because they go the extra mile and they overkill. That's what everyone say. You don't need these features exactly, but that's why they're charging a little bit more. And it's much more reasonable price than the S20 Ultra, which was completely overpriced. But this makes sense for what you're getting, because you're getting something that goes the extra mile, and so you have that breathing space between what's the standard and what the extra mile is, and you can kind of choose your in between. Now, they also updated the fingerprint sensor, and it's supposed to be bigger and faster, and it does recognize my finger quicker, but it doesn't respond faster. So what I mean is, I will tap it and it will recognize my finger and it won't error, but it still opens in the same kind of speed. But yeah, there's much less erroring than I used to get before, and I just have to tap it now. I don't have to hold my finger in place, and I kind of like that. So it's nice to see that there. It's noticeable. Now, when it comes to OneUI 3.0, there's not a crazy amount of features. It's more of fixing things. And one of the reasons I didn't like Samsung before was because their software, it felt like it was incomplete. Like, it was done well, but then they kind of just gave up right at the end when they needed to fix the little things. And so the software as a whole kind of felt a little bit jittery, and it didn't feel smooth and flawless, which is why I love Oxygen OS, and it's probably my favorite Android skin. But now with OneUI 3, I feel like everything has been refined and everything has been sorted, and using it kind of flows, and it's very smooth and it's very nice. And you got slight redesigns, especially in the notification panel, and I really like that design, so that's good. Also, a nice little surprise, if you swipe your way left from the home screen, you get Google Now. I'm psyched. This is just, it's great. But yeah, I'm all for OneUI 3, and it's nice to see that here. Now, before I end of the video, of course I'm not going to leave you guys without talking about the cameras, because that's where a big chunk of your money is going into. So specs wise, you've got a main camera with laser autofocus, and it's 108 megapixels. Pretty crazy. Then you have an ultra wide, 12 megapixel ultra wide with dual pixel autofocus, which also opens it up to becoming a macro lens, which is cool. So now you can get macro shots with the ultra wide, and you get a bit of a depth of field with the ultra wide. So that is really, really nice there. You then get a 10 megapixel 3x optical zoom, and then you get a 10 times optical zoom, which I think is absolutely crazy. Like, that's the max digital zoom that you can do in an iPhone, and they have an optical zoom for that on this phone. 10 times. That's mental. And then digitally you can zoom in 100 times, which I think is cool. And I said that this is overkill. Obviously you don't need it, but it's nice to have it there. And it is just really a cool feature. But also having the 3 times and the 10 times, which are both optical, what's great about this is you can get really high quality zoomed in photos. So with this, you get a nice kind of range. You can get a nice 5 times photo, you can get a nice 10 times photo, obviously, but even a 20 times photo. And that is crazy from a phone. We never really had anything like this before, except with the previous S20 Ultra. Now, I also love the 108 megapixels. It's really detailed. This is one of the things I've really loved about it, because if you zoom in, you don't run out of detail, and it looks so nice. And then you also get a nice feature called director's view, so you can see all the camera lenses at once. That's a very, very nice feature, and you gotta have power to do that, so good for the S21. But then something I just wanted to say is you've got a 40 megapixel selfie camera, and I don't know why. Like, if they could have cheapened the price maybe and not put that in there, I would have appreciated that, because it's nice to have overkill, but 40 megapixel selfie, I really don't see the point at all. But yeah, those are the cameras, and I think it's really cool, and of course you can now record 8K, and it's not perfect, it's a work in progress, but it's only going to get better from here, and it's a really nice starting point. It looks super cinematic, and because all these sensors are big, you get a very nice shallow depth of field, so it's kind of a blurred background without actually using a digital version of it like portrait mode. So I'm loving the cameras here, but this isn't a review. I'm going to tell you a lot more about it in the review, and you should wait for the review. So I will see you then. But until then, I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please subscribe if you haven't already, because I want to get 10K as soon as I can. And give this video a like and comment because it helps with the algorithm. Check out my Instagram at El-Naggar so you can stay up to date with everything, and you get a behind the scenes perspective, and we've got some good videos coming up, so you wanna stay aware of that. But anyway, I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next one. Salam.